A naked American man stole my balloon.
And welcome back to the Retro Review. I'm the Bearded Geek, joined as always by Mikey the Freak
Oh!
and Steve.
Oh!
Ow! I can do that too. Today we're going to be reviewing the movie An American Werewolf in London. But before we get into it, let's check out that trailer.
Yes, let's.
Oh! There we go.
This is the story of two young American students traveling through
Yes,
England
let's.
on the night of the full moon.
Did you hear that?
What?
I heard that.
I heard it.
What was it? Could be a lot of things.
Fate let one live.
That lunatic must have been a very fierce fellow.
Wasn't a lunatic.
What?
A wolf. Oh, be serious, would you?
And now everything is changing. Changing. Changing.
Good Lord.
John Landis, the brilliant young director of Animal House and the Blues Brothers, has turned a classic tale of terror into something new. Something different.
Oh, so weird.
Excuse me.
A naked American man stole my balloon.
Oh, my balloon.
I'm a werewolf.
An American Werewolf in London. Something different.
And there you have it. That was An American Werewolf in London trailer. Mikey the Freak, why don't you tell us a little bit more about
yes.
this movie?
It's very brief. Two American college students on a walking tour, never, of Britain are attacked by a werewolf that none of the locals will admit exists. So you got the two actors walking through Great Britain, I guess you could say. They stop at the first local pub, and they look weird because I think because they were American and this is a British pub, but they don't want to admit that the werewolf exists because they go out on their own. So they actually go out and try to find them after they hear the werewolf go off and scream, do their yell, and they find them attacked. So it's kind of one of those where David Naughton survives. Griffin Dunn, his character gets killed. Griffin Dunn's character is basically one of those where he can't see him. So David Naughton is the only person that can see his character after he was killed, because I think it has to do a lot with the maybe the regret that he ran away after he was attacked. Jesus,
He's stuck in limbo. He's stuck in limbo, in like purgatory, until the final bloodline of the werewolf is ended. That's why he keeps having David try to kill himself.
kill himself. Yeah, so David has to try to kill himself in order for, like you said, the bloodline to end and the werewolf is no more. But as you can see, he turns into a werewolf and wreaks havoc all over London. So I mean, one of the notables that I've always enjoyed with this movie is that at Universal Studios at the horror makeup show, they always talk about this movie. So that's one reason why I picked this movie is really to showcase it. So it's one of those where this movie was the first Oscar award winning in makeup. So when in 1981, when the awards came out and they actually initiated that makeup category, this movie was the first one to win, which was Rick Baker. So they talk about that during the horror makeup show. They show the original special effects, which are pistons in the cheeks over a latex face mask, and that one of the original heads is at Universal Studios in Florida. As well as it's funny because there's when David Naughton came to Comic Con or Spooky Empire a couple years ago, he signed an 8x10 for Universal Studios, and now it's on the wall right behind that
Oh, that's
little
cool.
display on stage. So I thought that was kind of funny that he acknowledged that for him. But yeah, great movie, a lot of action, a lot of great effects, like I mentioned with makeup. But one of those that it's just stay on top of your seats, on the edge of your seats. Gruesome, weird with Griffin Dunn, how he looks. That makeup that
The
was
s-
kind of
the slow progression of his death, of his look, and throughout the
yeah.
whole movie
I
was
thought
really
that was
cool. It was
yeah,
really cool, actually. Yeah.
but like I said, that's why they won the Oscar. So great makeup, great special effects. Uh, Bearded Geek. What do you think about?
This was actually my first time seeing this all the way through. I've seen bits and pieces, but I actually sat and watched this all the way through, and I really enjoyed this movie. And I'm not even that big of a horror type guy, but I love the special effects of for 81 and the him turning into the werewolf. I thought that was really badass. Um, I enjoyed the storyline a little bit. Some of it was a little weird, like the kicking in the door, and then I guess monster Nazis just shooting everybody up was a little. I didn't understand that. I didn't understand that at all.
I think he was dreaming.
Um,
I think
he was
dreaming.
dreaming. I
Yeah,
know he was dreaming, but
yeah. I don't.
it still made no sense to me. But I guess I'm not supposed to make sense of it, but it was just it was horror just to be horror apparently. But I enjoyed the whole thing. I loved it from beginning to end. Probably it just may take over my favorite horror movie over Tremors at this point. I really enjoyed it. Um, Steve, what did
No.
you think
Win.
of this movie on rewatch?
I saw a werewolf with a Chinese menu in his hand walking through the streets of Soho in the rain. He was looking for the place called Lee Ho Fook's, gonna get a big dish of chicken chow mein.
Okay.
That's the opening line to Werewolves of London. I did some fun horror flick. It's John Landis, as
Hmm.
he was making a name for himself as an up and coming director. You both stated the director, both stated that the effects themselves, with the creation of the werewolf, with the expansion of the face, of the hands and the feet, was extraordinary for the time, for a visual physical effect that's done. It's
Hmm.
well done. Then I think it's a practical effect that could be used in movies now,
Yeah.
in a more updated way. But it's an effect as the police come right back by. It's an effect. A werewolf right down the street killed
Yeah.
someone, and they got to go.
Axel Foley's coming to get him from last week. Yeah.
Same gimmick, same gimmick. No, I really enjoy An American Werewolf in London. I think it's a really great horror flick. It's not one of my favorite horror flicks, but it's a solid one. It's definitely up there for some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mikey the Freak, how would you rate this movie?
This movie's great. Yeah, it is one of my most favorite horror movies. Like you said, the practical effects, the association that I have with Universal in this movie, to kind of have that one-on-one type thing with it, is pretty cool. David Naughton, even though not a big actor in his time, and did a lot of television shows, not too many movies after this, but I think it's a solid 8.5 for everything in all.
Is that
Um,
with or without the boob bump?
no, that's with the boot bump. I give it 8.5 with the boot bump.
I got
Very
you.
geek. How do you
Yeah,
think?
8.5 with the boob bump is right where I'd put it too. I I enjoyed the story in this, even though some of it was a bit weird. But I did enjoy the story. I've always liked werewolves, though. I've always liked werewolves and vampires and stuff like that. So I like the classic monsters such as this. So I think that's why I like this a little bit more. So yeah, 8.5 for me. Steve, how would you rate
Mikey, I
this?
thought you were turning into a werewolf. I thought you were like, ah.
Felt like it.
With the bump, it's an 8 for me. And I
Yeah,
basically said everything I wanted to. So
not a problem.
how about
I
some
do have
fun, how about some fun facts from the
some
bearded
fun
geek?
facts.
Fun
David not
facts.
David Naughton was reportedly cast because John Landis had seen him in a television commercial for Dr. Pepper. However, Naughton was later let go by Dr. Pepper because of his nude scenes in this film.
Uh-oh.
Whoopsie.
Oops. Sure.
Whoopsies.
This is John Landis's personal favorite film of his own,
Hmm.
apparently. Um, Unlike most motion pictures, this film was filmed in sequence. So there
Oh
you
wow.
have it. That is usually not the case. So that is what I have for some fun
And
facts.
you got the fun fact that Rick Baker. This was the very first Oscar won by Rick Baker in
Hmm.
makeup when the
Very
category
cool.
first got launched in 1981.
Very
Nice.
cool. Steve, what do we have for some soundtrack?
So according to IMDb, Blue Moon, performed by Bobby Vinton.
Blue, 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 blue moon.
Heavy Metal Thunder, performed by Saxon. Blue Moon, performed by Sam Cooke. Moon Dance, performed by Van Morrison.
A lot of moons.
Bad Moon Rising, performed by CCR.
I
And,
see what you're doing.
and Blue Moon, performed by the Marcells.
So 3 different blue moons. I get it.
A lot
Yeah.
of moons.
A lot of
Yes.
moons.
Even David Naughton's moon.
Yeah, there's a couple of David Naughton moons up in there, yeah.
uh,
Mikey the Freak, what do we have for some related reels, sir?
Related
Oh,
reels.
terrible, terrible. David Naughton was in Midnight Madness, 1980, with Michael J. Fox, his first film. He was in a show called Making It,
That's funny
which
because Michael J. Fox played a werewolf as well, sort of.
isn't that weird? Such a irony related. And I challenge you guys to find the video for Making It performed by David Naughton on YouTube. Watch it and let me know what you think. It is a very catchy tune. That's all I gotta
And
say.
we'll leave it at that. Yeah.
The Saturday Night Fever type spin-off show that he did, and he sang the song Making It for it. Yeah. So
Okay.
anyway. He was also in a movie called Big Bad Wolf. Weird. Oh, he was a
Ow.
sheriff in a
Blue,
movie
blue,
called Big
blue,
Bad
blue
Wolf
moon.
with Clint Howard. Clint Howard was in the movie too. I've never heard of this movie. Gotta find it. Jenny Gutter was in Logan's Run. She's the nurse in the movie. Logan's Run. She was a World Security Council in Avengers. One of the newer Avengers. She was in
Okay.
Avengers. And then she was in Child's Play 2 also. And then Griffin Dunn was in My Girl, filmed right down the street there in Bartow, Florida.
Mhm.
Go by the house. Our aunt lives right down the street. What, 4 houses
Like
away from
three
it?
or four houses down from it, yeah.
Yeah. Was in Who's That Girl with Madonna.
Mm,
Yeah. And Johnny Dangerously. He was in
okay.
Johnny Dangerously.
Very cool. All right. As we start to bring this thing to a close, Steve, where can people find you on your podcast, sir?
That's the last podcast you want. Look at that right there. Spin. Da 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 da. Yeah, that's it. The last podcast you'd want. Tip of the veal, try the staff. Thank you all for coming. And if you didn't, better luck next time.
Make sure you check out the sister channel to Back to the Retro Review, which is the Mod Squad, where we have a gamer, movie, horror, show, and we go live every Saturday night with a giveaway. If you like what you see here, make sure you do all the YouTuber things. Give us a good old thumbing. Hit that like and subscribe. Yeah, hit that like and subscribe.
Watch the movie.
Tell us what you liked about this movie down in the comments below. All right. So
such a great movie.
It is. It actually is. All right. That does it for this episode of Back to the Retro Review. So for Mikey the Freak, Steve, I am the Bearded Geek saying thank you for being a friend, everybody.
I'm going to get my balloon.